the question is, what happened with this mistake that you made?
No, well, actually, I couldn't imagine there is actually a way which exists to blunder in this position. Yeah, like it's the position was somewhat between like slightly better and much better. We were, I mean, during the most of the game, the biggest part. So perhaps I could play something like before after a3, yeah, just more a direct approach, and I think it would be like. I wouldn't rule it like as crushing, but very promising. But I guess I'll have to be a3. I mean, okay, this provides some more chances for black to hold, but still it's pretty one-sided. Yeah, but somehow, yeah, I think this bishop d7, bishop e8, black is trying to stabilize. And actually, I was quite happy to find this idea queen e1 and just get a pawn into the endgame. But yeah, I mean, of course, like c5 is, you know, is even funny that, okay, there is a way to blunder this position in one move, but yeah, who could know?
You spent, it seemed, about 18 minutes before you came back to the board after Magnus played the move c6. What was the time spent?
Well, I was trying to calculate if there were like any practical chances, and perhaps there is no big difference there to calculate sitting at the board, so in the room. But yeah, the best I could produce was, okay, this I don't know, rook b6 c5 idea, but it's far from anything realistic, of course.
After you played c5, how long did it take to occur to you that c6 was possible?
Until it was played. Okay, I was quite happy, but I somehow thought that c5 bishop b5 is mandatory. But I mean, yeah, okay, so that's also the problem that c6 idea never works while my pawn is on c4. So yeah, just some insanely bad luck.
So just to clarify, so you didn't notice c6 until Magnus played it?
Indeed.
I see. Your feelings now about the match situation, given 5 games to go?
It's worse than I expected.
Magnus, question for you. I'm going to ask the FIDE question first, given that it's appropriate just at the very beginning. People can tweet in their questions to FIDE Chess. And the question is, when Pragnananda played c4 and Jan stayed with the move, you kept on smiling. The questioner asked, this is by Richard Feynman at Dicky Feynman 11. I would like to know Magnus's thoughts on this. Did he expect c4 or was it out of the blue?
No, I mean, you expect everything, but obviously it was a slight surprise, and yeah, I couldn't know if Prague had any you know, had a prior knowledge, or he was just making the move he would have made at the board. So yeah, that's why I smiled.
Now, some questions. You must have been genuinely shocked when you saw the move c5 appear and you saw you could play c6.
Pretty absurd. So I thought I was doing fairly okay, and then knight e5 followed by knight g4 was actually a blunder, since I hadn't seen queen e1. I was considering all the other queen moves that don't trade queens. I thought I'd fortify my knight with h5, and I thought I'm better. And then queen e1 was a shock at first, because I realized I'm just losing a pawn. But I quickly stabilized and evaluated the position as just probably pretty clear draw at that point, and obviously it helped me to see that c5, which is the most obvious try, just loses to c6, and yeah, seeing it on the board was pretty absurd. But yeah, what can you do?
You call using the word absurd. Could you clarify why you use this word than any other?
No, it's just because you don't expect to basically win a piece for nothing at this level. So, and yeah, what can I say? As he said, it's also a bit of bad luck that he doesn't even have any try that gives him any chances. But yeah, I think Absurd actually covers it pretty nicely.
Your feelings on winning such a game, you're +3 in the match.
Yeah, as I said before, no style points awarded, so I'll take it. It was a tough game in which I was under pressure, both on the board and on the clock, and yeah, just to turn it around like that was unexpected.
And there have been speculation that maybe the way you lost before yesterday, and maybe even previously the 7 hours and 45-minute game, that maybe this has affected your play. Is there any relevance to that assumption?
Well, as you stated, there is a few reasons to speculate, but in general, I think this basically 2 one-move blunders in a row is a little bit too much. So, I mean, sometimes perhaps, your opponent can blunder your way to victory there. So no, that's actually happening. But I mean, in general, of course, there is a lot of work to do to understand why is it going on like this, and what's the reason. But yeah, I mean, lack of concentration, or maybe combined with some not the best luck.
I'll take questions from reporters now, please.
My question is for Magnus. So Magnus, after that nearly 8-hour game, you seem pretty excited, but the last 2 wins are largely based on blunders. So does the way in which you win chess games affect your mood somewhat?
Yeah, I think that goes without saying. But in the standings, they look the same. But I think that goes for everybody. That's like earning a victory through really hard work is more rewarding than getting one handed to you by your opponents. Actually, that's not the case for everybody. I remember Donner wrote in his book that he appreciated a game won by luck a lot more than game won by skill. But for me, I definitely I definitely feel a lot more satisfied with when I actually win a good game. But I'll take it.
Hans Orbakken from NRK. Question to Jan. I asked you on Sunday, how do you rate your performance that day? Then you said, I'm sorry. What do you say today, Jan, about your performance?
Well, until it moves c5, I think it was overall good. So I could, I think I could play, more principle, like playing before. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to make any conclusions after you basically blunder an absolutely safe position in one move. Yeah, so it's perhaps it was slightly closer to a draw than for some realistic chances for white. But yeah, I mean, in general, like a 3 bishop e4 and so on. Yeah, like. So black should still be precise to hold this draw. So well, somehow it's quite interesting, yeah, that you can blunder such position in one move. So it's difficult to sum up things here.
How do you feel right now?
It's been better before.
Yeah, Nicholas Berg from Aftenposten in Norway. A question from Magnus. You were kind of shaking your head after the blunder. Did you, in a way, have conflicting emotions after that?
No, not really. As I said, was just very unexpected.
Sean with chess.com. This is for Jan. It's been said of Samurai that they would cut off their top knot after loss or shame. Can I ask if your haircut yesterday was an homage to that?
No, I just wanted to do this already for quite some time, yes. So, just at some point, coincidence.
It looks good.
Thanks.
Rakesh with chess.com India. Question to Magnus. Firstly, congrats on the win. In 2004, you became a grandmaster in Dubai. 2014, you became the world rapid and blitz champion. And now you're on the brink of the world chess champion title in Dubai again. So would you say Dubai is a good hunting ground for you?
Yeah, saying anything else would be pretty absurd.
And was this the same thing, the same fact that Magnus Bastard was mentioning in the podcast yesterday?
Oh, yeah, I don't remember exactly what he was saying, but it sounds right.
Thank you.
Sagar Shah from ChessBase India. My question is for Magnus. When Jan played c4 and e6 and d5 you played, you pushed your pawn to d4, which is kind of an ambitious attempt to play as black. What were your thoughts behind it? Because you could have also played solidly with knight f6 and so on.
Yeah, so as you said, I had some conflicting emotions. D4 was what I'd been preparing for the match, and so I wasn't sure whether I would go for that or anything more solid. But the main problem was that I couldn't remember what was going on later there. I remember that knight g4 was the key move, and then I guessed that bishop c5 was correct, and then I couldn't remember the lines. So that's what I was mostly considering already when I played d4, and then we reached a position anyway a lot later, and I still hadn't figured it completely out. So that was a bit dumb. But anyway, I have no major complaints about the position that I had. I think it's a bit worse, but to actually show anything serious for white there, I think requires very, very energetic and precise play, and the most likely outcome is always that black eventually equalizes, and I think that's kind of what happened in the game as well, that before he blundered, I think, position was just very, very drawish.
Well, can I ask one more? Were you happy with your move queen a3 to b4? Because that, I think, was very key move, right? Preparing rook a3.
Yeah, I was very, very happy with that one, but it was partly based on an oversight, since my idea after rook b1 was to take and knight g4, and I didn't see queen e1. But it turned out, as frankly happens pretty often, that good positional moves tend to work out well, even if you've missed something. So even though it was technically a blunder, still the plan was sound in itself, and it turned out that I had good compensation. But yeah, I thought in general queen b4 was nice.
Thank you.